Hi, I'm JD, and I've decided to take a break from posting about electronics and robotics and post some videos about my camping trip this year. So I came to Algonquin again. If you saw my videos from last year, I tend to go on the Western Uplands Trail. So I did again this year. I booked back in March, and I've been thinking, like a couple years ago, I came with my kids and we were out for a week, the three of us. So I kind of thought, well, if it was just me, I could go longer than a week. And so in March, I booked 9 days thinking, oh, this will be a challenge. But after I booked it, I was thinking, yeah, maybe that's not such a good idea, because then the pack's going to be heavier. And so that was a big concern. So some things I changed for this trip. I did find a one-person tent. So if you saw videos from last year, I had the tent that I bought for camping with the kids. So it was like a 3-person tent. It was way too heavy, way too big. So I found a tent. It was pretty inexpensive, 1-person tent, and it only weighed 2 pounds. So I'm pretty glad I found that. It's not freestanding, so I live in an apartment. You can't peg it into the apartment floor, but it won't set up without being pegged down. So I asked a friend if I could set up in his backyard and tried it, just to make sure the parts are there. It worked. It uses one hiking pole, so it doesn't actually have poles itself, but I always go with hiking poles, so I didn't think that was a big deal. And I was pretty happy for a 2-pound tent. What else? I noticed last year, after 7 days, I only used half a tank of fuel. And so this year, I only took half a tank to save weight. And then just thought, well, I keep that in mind. And, I'll cold soak meals, which I don't mind cold food. So I've been kind of doing that. I also brought the titanium pot and not the aluminum one, so it is lighter. But yeah, no bread this year. The thing I have for making bread is for the size of the other pot. Yeah, dehydrated all my food so it would be light. And actually my pack feels a lot lighter this year, so it's been good. The other thing, I came in on the bus to Huntsville in the afternoon. So I usually go overnight, but if you saw videos from last year, I was pretty out of it like that first day because I didn't sleep well on the bus, which I knew, but going this year in the afternoon meant I probably wouldn't get on the trail until 5:30 in the evening. So that was a bit of a concern. But I thought, well, if I have to set up in the dark, I could do that. If I go overnight to come here, I have to start in the dark. So either way, you have to start in the dark or end in the dark. So I just decided to do the afternoon this time. So my campsites I booked were Ramona Lake. So I'm going on the Western Uplands Trail counter-clockwise, Ramona, and then to Rainbow. And I spent 4 nights at Rainbow, and then Clara, and then the last one is Maggie Lake. And then from Maggie Lake, I'll exit. So it's 9 days. I'm only really moving half of those days. Yeah, so I didn't think it would be too hard. So yeah, so the wait has been great. I wasn't sure if I was going to post videos on YouTube because I did last year. So much of it would be the same. So coming in, so I'm recapping now. So coming in the first day, or coming in that Friday afternoon, was not bad. The mosquitoes, there were quite a few mosquitoes. I was kind of thinking that this year would be bad, judging by that first day. But it does kind of make sense. The time of day that I was hiking was like 5:30 onwards. So on that walk from the trailhead to Ramona Lake was pretty uneventful. But I did run into this guy, and he was standing on the side of the trail just quietly. His pack was on the ground, and his tent was on the ground too. It made me think he was carrying the tent by hand when he was hiking, but you always want to stop and make sure people aren't injured, or they have the food and water that they need. So we talked for a bit, and he had gone the wrong direction. He walked a long distance in the wrong direction, but he was pretty close to his campsite, and his friends who were coming from they were coming from Toronto there, but he wasn't from Toronto. But they were on the trail, and he assumed they were ahead of him. So anyways, he was just resting. So I went on, and then I came across this group of guys sitting on the trail who had similar looking gear to that guy. So I said, "Hey, you're the guys from Toronto." Like, I knew exactly who they were. So they asked about their friend, and yeah, I knew he was like 15 minutes behind me. Although I didn't actually ever see him walk. I don't know how fast he walked, but I was pretty confident it would take him 15 minutes to catch up to them. But anyways, it was pretty uneventful. I made it to Ramona. I set up camp. I had dinner, and then I was actually in the tent, ready to go to sleep. And there was still some daylight. The sun had gone down, but it was still daylight. So that wasn't bad. So I might do that in the future. But that was pretty uneventful, so I don't really have much to say about that. But so far the trip has been great. I've talked to a few groups of people. I've seen more animals than I usually do. And so from here, I'm going to post a few videos over the last few days. All right, so hope you will look forward to those.